Hi, it's me again with Corel Tips and Tricks. Somebody sent me this policeman logo, and I've taken the name out. He asked me to, but this is how he comes up, and he's got double lines, triple lines, and it really is a mess. So I've already converted to a grayscale, and I traced it. I couldn't trace it and not leave the name up there, so I traced it pre-hand. So this is what I came up with. Now, this would probably engrave on wood, but this isn't going to engrave on acrylic. I've already broken it apart. We're going to move that out of the way. Matter of fact, we don't really need any of that. I'm going to move it up. And I'm going to nudge the name of the word police away. And it traced the police pretty good. Then I'm going to take the outside border and move it out of the way, or nudge it over there. I'm going to take that and nudge it out of the way. I'm going to take the state of Texas and nudge it out of the way. I'm going to take hopefully just the black part of the tower. I'm going to do the cow. I'm going to take his nostrils and his eyes. I'm going to take his horns. And for right now, I'm going to leave that. Now what we need to, and I'm going to need all of it in a second, but I'm going to recreate this banner real quick. So I'm going to nudge it over, and nudge it over. And you can see we have the numbers, but we really want this to be all black. So we're going to left click, right click, and we're going to take this virtual segment delete key and delete these numbers because we don't want to use these numbers particularly. And you could retype that. We want to use these numbers. Then I'll show you in just a second. We're going to nudge them over. Yeah, I think earlier, I actually have done this for this gentleman. Now what we can do is take all these letters. Hopefully we can grab them all. And I'm going to left click no fill and right click outline. And then take the black and fill this in. And go ahead and make this banner black. Then I go in and make the police black. Because we're not going to have any grays. We're going to either have black. Now, I like the way it looks right now, and we're going to go ahead and make this black, but we can't have this gray. So I'm just going to, that was part of the flag. I like now that you can see the Texas, I'm going to move the cow's head out of the way, and I guess I can actually get rid of his eyes and nose. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take, and I'm going to left click, right click. And he's got a little bit of garbage there, so we're going to fix that. Just take it. That looks pretty good. Now, I'm going to make this something other than a hairline. So it'll show up. That's a little bit much. 1 point. I am going to, because I'm using a line, I'm going to make sure I scale with object in case we make that bigger. Now I can move that back. See how that made that part of the head look good? So now we can take this bull's horn and move it out of the way. Let's bring in a yellow box at this time and see if I'm not missing anything. See, the cow's horns still are going to look like they're there. Now, if we want the tower, I'm going to have to make this an outline. And then again, make it something other than that. That looks pretty good. I don't think I've really missed anything. The tower looks good. And then once he puts the police in, what is supposed to be, that's just a blank spot on the cow's head. Oh, we didn't do the wheat yet. So we need to do the wheat. I'm thinking it's wheat. I'm going to make it black, move it over. And then what I can do is, that we don't have. So we need to move that over. In both sides. I am going to eliminate that part. That still looks like Texas. I'm going to go and just delete all this stuff so we can grab that wheat better. Yeah, I think that looks good. Now I'm going to take the wheat. I'm going to delete everything that's not wheat, or I'm hoping it's wheat. I've been calling it wheat, and try to make it all black. Now there's a part right there I don't like. Now nudge it over. Now the only thing I don't like on the acrylic, that there's not enough room here. You know, the yellow is going to be non-touched acrylic. So let's try this. Let's try taking this part and moving it over, and we're going to left click, right click, and we're going to take a 2-point line of work, just kind of go from there to there, fill that in. I'm going to have to nudge it over because I got to put it back. I'm going to left click, right click. I'm going to go up to effects, and I'm going to contour just 0.01 to the outside. And you could actually go probably a little bit more. Let's back up and let's go 0.02. And then that way you can kind of see what I'm doing. Then go to object, break curve apart. If you grab the inside, you can do the inside to the left or right, put that back. Take your virtual segment delete key and delete those lines. And actually delete that line. And then I would strongly suggest you smart fill this. And I'm going to go that away, and then I'm going to come, because I want to get rid of this gray matter, and then take this right back. And then that way, see, it gave me more room around that wheat flour. Now we could do the same thing with the Texas just by hand. Because you want a little separation, especially for acrylic. I'm going to have to zoom in there. I made a no-no. Let's see how it looks. And then I would just clean it up a little bit. You know, right in here, shape tool, you know, maybe get rid of these two nodes. And they won't show up when you put them inside that other black. You know, maybe that looks pretty good. Bring this down. See, there's a lot you can do when you're playing on black on black. I think it looks pretty good. And for the gentleman I'm trying to help, that's a really fat heart. I left it out of the first one. Let's go to common shapes and go to hearts and make a really fat heart. See if we can make a fat heart. We're not going to be able to make one. Well, you could with time. Let me make that yellow. I mean, they made it almost abstract. What we can do is click on it and turn it into a curve, and then we can manipulate it quite a bit. And you could, well, let's grab all 4 top nodes, put them up, and then not as bad as I thought it was going to be. That looks pretty good. Then what we're going to do to get that in there, remember the whole time we've nudged, so we're just going to nudge it over here. We're going to left click, right click that. Where's my little heart? There it is. And we're going to bring it into the picture. It might be so small it might not even show up. And you know what's, I need to go to object, order. Well, why is it not showing up? Oh, remember I made it yellow. So you could see it. Now let's just get rid of our yellow bot. And then instead of bringing that back, just take your smart fill tool and fill that in. And there's your heart. Now I wish I had one with the name of the police force so he could use it, but I'll put it back for him. Anyway, that's how I would do it. You know, one more thing. We need to fix this. So I'm going to left click, right click. And because part of the banner was coming through there, I'm just going to make this banner go all the way across. And don't worry about it being perfect. Take your virtual segment delete key and delete that. Delete any excess. And then what I would do is strongly suggest, well, let's also fix the around the wheat, maybe give a little bit of separation. Grab all four of them, bring them down. You want a little separation. Then I would take the Smart Fill tool and fill that in. Get rid of these two lines. And then move that back. Now we're a little bit rough. So just take your shape tool and delete some nodes. Make it look a little more uniform. And I think that would, well, we got one more spot on the cow's head that I did not fix. See, we just got some rough areas. See, I don't know where it's a little dip. And there you go. And maybe even have some more separation, because you got to remember, you don't want too much. You know, you want to give, and there's some more stuff inside there. Because you want some separation on the acrylic. That looks pretty good. Anyway, I hope that helped a little bit, and thank you for watching.